Tucking your shots, coming like the train that arrives on time. You know what I'm saying?
Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, Staten, and all over the fucking world. It's
Let's go! Yeah, it's your boy World, the universal one. I'm here. I do what I gotta. As a young star, I came up that flung songs and niggas mugs with no remorse. I made the choice to be street, and since birth I've been a chief. Had beef, handled with grief. You won't be coming back with heat. In my eyes, I'm too loud, so I'ma live. Give it all I got and what it takes to get the cake. Cause I'm a go-getter, most real I'm out for. I've been told for too long, too strong to be wrong. That's just how it is. I put that on my kid, cause when I'm gone, this is all his. I'm talking generation.
No doubt.
It's your boy World the Rama. We here at Grindhard TV. We always there, y'all never there. I'm here with a living legend. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Make a whole mogul. Mr. Hawaiian Sophie from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Bring out artists and make them and they become billionaires. The type shit it is right here. You feel what I'm saying? I'm here with the one and only Mr. JazO.
What up?
You already know what it is. Yo, it's a pleasure to have you here on the show. You know what I'm saying? Grindhard TV. Like, we've been around for 22 years, but that is not even in comparison to what you've done in the game so much longer than that. You know what I'm saying? So it's an honor for me to be here with you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Not a problem.
I appreciate you being on the show, man.
I appreciate the opportunity.
And you got the official rock chain on and all that.
yeah. You know, it's I wear this, and I always wear, you know, something spiritual.
Right.
It just kind of signifies like where I am as far as my mind state and as far as my spirit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I love the music, and I haven't said this ever really, but I actually love the music industry. I don't like some of the ways that people go about things in the music industry, but it's kind of like symbolic of me making a marriage of both aspects. You know what I'm saying? My spiritual aspect and my musical creative aspect along with commerce. You know what I'm saying?
So when you say spiritual, because I know like back in the days growing up, everybody was God body. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you was 5% as well?
Nah, I actually never was 5%er, but I knew the lessons, and you know, so many people that I know, you know, were of that 5% nation influence.
In the black community, it was nothing but 5%ers back then. Before it was DCEPs and all that. Was it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was 5%ers.
Yeah, 5% nation. Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's crazy everywhere you go, especially Brooklyn.
Hell yeah. But it was even in Queens. When I grew up in Queens, it was a lot of 5% nation, you know what I'm saying, guard bodies. I grew up under them. They tried to recruit me in it and shit like that, but I was a young wild boy on the street, and I wasn't thinking about studying nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All I was studying is getting girls and getting money. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
Being a little nuisance out in the street. That's how it was back then. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? With that being said, you know, back in the days, everybody was wearing, like, you know what I'm saying, the black medallions and everything of that sort. And you came up in the game doing it. Like, I remember. You know what I mean? So, like, how did you transition from that? Because you said you was cool with the music industry, but the music industry is actually one of the reasons why a lot of this wild shit is happening now. Because once the label started promoting the gangster part of music, you know what I'm saying, that's what got it going crazy now with the drill and a lot of motherfuckers just shooting up a lot of shit, because music is very influential. So how do you feel about that, from being around that time and era where it was all about the Nubian and the kings and the queens and shit like that to now?
Well, I can tell you basically I'm just spilling, you know, the nation's government is really responsible for all of this, because I mean, I'm gonna give you a perfect example.
Right.
When Facebook first started, there was so many restrictions. Now you could go on Facebook, you could see titties, you can see niggas getting shot. You know what I'm saying?
Killed.
Because it's all about commerce. It's not about the well-being of the people. It's not about any of that. It's really about it's really about commerce and control. And so I'm saying all of that to say that the music is a perfect example of that. You know, the music actually personifies all of the things or the agendas of the wannabe or so-called controllers.
Right.
You know, it's all institutionalized. You know, you go into a neighborhood, everybody acts the same. You go into the hood, everybody acts the same, and then you transition to the suburbs in the same town, and people act totally different. Right. You know what I'm saying? Part of it is social programming, and part of it is just the fact that certain people in certain tax brackets are influenced in certain directions.
Right.
But the main thing is the music is like, the whole purpose of the music is not to bring you the highest quality of music. The purpose,
low frequency, that's what they want to do.
Right. The purpose is the low frequency. You have people, you know, like, you listen to the songs, like, you know, I hear shit by accident because I don't turn on nothing for the most part.
So what you listen to?
I don't listen to nothing. I'm recording now, and I don't even, like, after I leave the studio, I don't even listen to my own shit.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
So how you memorize it then?
I just memorize it. Yeah. Like, if I like what we were talking about last night, you know what I'm saying, like doing like old joints, you know what I'm saying, I'll listen to it a couple of times for the purpose of making sure that, you know, because I ain't going on stage and mess. I ain't messing up, period. Right. So I definitely ain't going on stage in front of a whole bunch of people and, you know, screw up my lines or what have you. Right. So yeah, I would do that. But outside of that, like, the few times I do listen to music, you know, I listen to some of who I feel are the greats, you know, Donny Hathaway, Stevie Wonder, Aretha Franklin. You know, I love Donny Hathaway's daughter Layla. She's dope. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, and it's so many others, but those are the predominant ones that if I listen to somebody, you know, I'll just listen for a little while, you know. You know what's crazy? When you say you listen to the greats, most people, or people that's watching this now, they would think that you would say Jay, Nas, Big, but what they don't understand is that you came before them and you opened up the ways for them. You actually birthed Jay-Z. I'm sorry, like, I'm gonna say it. I know people will be all walking on eggshells when they come to talking about that man. You can't say that. That guy, you birthed him. That's a fact. And without you, without no JazO, there would be no Jay-Z. I know. So with that being said, what do you feel about what a lot of people saying, oh, if Big didn't pass away, Jay career wouldn't have happened? Do you feel that way? No, I don't feel that way at all. Okay. You know, I know of instances where, Big admired Jay immensely. Right. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how public he ever made it, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it wasn't really a common thing at a certain period of time for another rap artist to big up, you know, a rap artist, you know, which to me doesn't make any sense. And, you know, it leads also to the whole competition thing, you know? Like, to me, like, when you're competing with somebody, you already lost. Right. Like, now they're in your head now. Yeah. Now they're in your head. You can take that. You can take that. That's, you know what I mean? All right. Y'all know what it is. We here, going hard, baby. No doubt. Yeah. See, he's a busy man right here. You heard? So, you know what I'm saying? Not to go off of what you were saying. I don't want you to lose your train of thought. Oh, so, yeah, like, in these days and times, like, there's no real admiration. You know, you got some cats, you know, some of the older cats, they team up and do they 1-2, you know, as far as podcasts and things like that. They have common interests, and I love that. You know what I'm saying? But there was a time where it was rare. Like, I have a lot of cats, I'll mention a couple of them, but a lot of cats, like, when the cameras ain't on, they like, yo, you that dude. You know what I'm saying?
You can name names.
I could, but
we name names on Grindhard. You heard? Like we
Yeah.
say names. There's no fear over here. Plus, this is
Nah, it ain't.
we doing a dialogue, and
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. You are a pioneer of
Yeah.
a lot of things. Some of the biggest people. You done pioneered them in the game. So you know what I mean. You could speak on that stuff without it being a disrespectful thing or nothing like that. Yeah.
So yeah, like the reason it ain't out of fear or nothing. It's
Nah,
just
I'm
out
just
of
joking with you.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
you're from Brooklyn.
Yeah, it's just out of, you know what I'm saying? It's just out of the fact that, you know, I will say this, you know, sometimes when you mention somebody's name, you know, their ego out and their feelings might get hurt.
Or you helping them by saying their name.
Yeah, actually, yeah. You know, which I have no problem with. That's my history.
Right.
But
you always help people.
But you know, there was a song like Busta did a song, I can't remember the name of it, where he was mentioning a whole bunch of rap artists.
Right.
And I will say this, I don't know why he ain't mentioned me in it, because we would, I think it was like around 2004, 2005, and we were in the studio with the Game.
Hold on, let's do this.
You still on?
Well, this one is still on. Go ahead.
Yeah, we were in the studio with the Game, and so we were talking about different rap cats and so on and so forth, and I was like, yo, you know what? There ain't no there used to be a song called, because you know how you vibe out, it's probably like about 4 in the morning. I was like, you know, there's a song called Spotlight. I don't know if it was Wilson Pickett. I don't want to say the wrong
how it
name.
go? Like how the song goes?
It's an old song like from the 60s. Spotlight on something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And but it's the artist is mentioning like James Brown, Otis Redding.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that was the vibe around then. And even then it was kind of rare. You know, so I was like, yo, there ain't no rap songs like that where niggas is just bigging up everybody.
Paying homage to their people.
Right. And right after that, Busta came out with that song. I can't remember the name of the song. Saved My Life.
Well, shout out to Busta. I got a lot of content with Busta. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Busta. Happy belated birthday to Spliff Star Taurus Life. You already know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like Spliff Star just had a party at Amazora, and it was like a summer jam.
Oh,
I mean, he had Shauna from DTP perform. He had what's the dude name from down south? David Banner. He had Flavor Flav. He had the lady Tweet. He had, I mean, it was so many people that he had come out and perform for him. I'm like, yo, Spliff Star, yo, this guy right here, they love him out here. It was crazy. That episode's, the live is up right now, but the full-fledged edited episode is coming to Grindhard TV. But you go to Grindhard Television and watch. No matter of fact, the music that was being played in the background blocked it from YouTube, so I gotta re-edit it and put it out. This is the reason why I don't really like interviewing people with music playing in the background, or when I'm recording live performances. I don't like to record when the DJ's playing the music, because there's so much restrictions on everybody's music that it'll block my lives. And you know, sometimes lives be really dope, but if the music is not cleared or they feel like you're using it for some other purposes, they'll take it down.
Crazy.
That's the problem. But shout out to Spliff Star and Busta, you know what I mean? Because you mentioned that.
Shout out to both of them.
Word.
For real.
So yo, like, how does it feel now that you still here after you seen all of these people that you done alley-ooped and helped them get on, and now niggas is billionaires and millionaires and everything like that? You know what I mean? Like, how does that make you feel? And how you living now right now at this point in your life?
I live good, man. My main concern, man, is this, and my stomach.
Right. They say your gut is the most important thing.
Your gut is your second brain, they say, but to me, it's really your first brain.
Right.
But I'm good. But my main thing is, it makes me feel like I have a little bit of pride. So sometimes I say I'm proud, but you know, at the same time, I don't want to belittle cat, cause niggas is grown men and women. You know, so when you be like, yo, I'm proud of you, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, nigga might feel like, you know, you sonning them or something like that.
Right.
So I don't say none of that, you know, but I am proud, you know what I'm saying? Like like Jay came up.
Yes, indeed. Y'all know the deal. The Mix King, Ron G. This is the official Mad Show Mix
Serious
CD, you
business, you
heard? Let's
stupid
go.
motherfucker.
That's not a street that you can walk.
Hell no.
You got to watch who you're talking
I
to.
remember when me and my kin from meager ends branched out with some leafy stems, chicken and brocks, and stomped them style blocks with them squeaky Timbs. They grinded the concrete till we leaned in them. We had to freeze if you breeze, and the caps for the fiends in them. T36 and the me's in them. We crawled through the heat, we walked through the sleet till we drove before we let another season in. Lots with Porsches, SUVs in them. Copped them watches with them gleams in them. Broke bread with my team in them. Any nigga try to scheme, we the first to bust a seam in them. When we won't breathe and they ain't believe in us. And when we won't cheese and they won't cheese in us. And with this Ruger dead at your brain for calling the main to take away this little venture that was feeding us, I'm yelling.
That's not a street that you can walk.
Shea Spinners,
You got to watch who you're talking to.
I'm saying.
That's not a street that you can walk.
Shea Spinners, watch your words.
I ain't lying. That's not a street that you can walk.
Shea Spinners,
You got to watch who you're talking to.
I'm saying.
That's not a street that you can walk.
Shea Spinners, watch your words. Yo, who used to toss weight, tote AKs in the early AM? Sherrod playing stupid, it ain't him. Don't be confused, it ain't them. Fools got guns, but ain't men. Lift them out they shoes, it's mayhem. Put them niggas back in they playpen. You brave or afraid, either made or sprayed. Endowed with the power, or a bitch and a coward. Either pussy or you mean, nothing in between. One shot, backfire, 3 gunplay. I live spirits like the Rev on Sunday. I live forever, I'll address that one day. Call me forever, cause I'm net for one day. Call me tomorrow, cause I'm net for one day. Call me now, nigga, now is always. Don't call a po-po when I pull a fofo. Make your soul glow, tough shit, nigga, curling your kit, I'm yelling.
That's not a street that you can walk.
Shea Spinners,
You got to watch who you're talking to.
I'm saying.
That's not a street that you can walk.
Shea Spinners, watch your words.
I ain't lying. That's not a street that you can walk.
Shea Spinners,
You got to watch who you're talking to.
I'm saying.
That's not a street that you can walk.
Shea Spinners, watch your words, nigga.
I ain't lying.
Hey yo, you ain't a prob, kid, you dead if I bothered. Don't need the Mossberg, the squash herb, starving for lava. You talk thug, sweeter than Danish and Java. Leave it or anguish your mama. P1 to paint your pajamas. I punish, I promise. Street degree, high honors. Speak to me, high honor. I'm in the tub with my 2 rockers up against this who are knockers. My brilliance even unseen with blue blockers. I take your money, but poly with you, I choose not to. I fucks bitches with Berlinettas and Prada proper. I got the system screaming, who shot you, laughing how every nigga in the industry was pocking Biggie friend. Gotta be grubbing about the shit again. You leave snorting from a citizen. Kings County about to hit again. I use the knife for dudes this trife. Good morning, good night. It's only music, right? Free nigga.
The song that JazO was just talking about is playing. So that's one of them pop songs because that shit playing in a hotel lobby. Well,
Yeah, it's an old soul song. I think it's Wilson Pickett.
Wilson Pickett. All right, so like I was saying, you know, it was a lot of people that you put on in the game, and you know what I mean, like you was explaining how does that feel, whether people were in sync back in the days and looking out for each other, or was it a problem, you know what I'm saying, what you was doing for people, and how does that make you feel as far as like how things are going now, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it was few and far between, like, whereas you had cliques, you know, that helped each other, and then it became a situation where it was more like, you know, cats from the street who weren't creatives, you know, they actually had people and they put the other people on, they put the creatives on. So that began like that kind of begat the separation, you know, streetwise with hip hop between, you know, what today we would call an artist and management, so to speak. So that's what eventually happened.
How did your relationship with Big Daddy Kane really happen? Because I know it was said from history of all of these things that's going on out here. When you brought Jay around Kane really took the Jay. You know what I mean? So how did you and Kane relationship happen?
Well, me and Kane, we knew each other, and our the person who really connected us was JC.
Who's that? Who's JC?
JC was wasn't really his like road manager or anything like that, but he was one of those guys. You know what I'm saying? So JC introduced, you know, he kind of indirectly introduced us because he was like, yo, he would tell Kane that, you know, he had connected with me, and then vice versa. And so, you know, it began like tell him I said what's up, you know, and then, you know, in kind, you know, and it just went back and forth like that. So when Kane started doing, Kane did a couple of videos in Brooklyn, and I was invited out.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where that whole thing started. And so one day, I guess this was like 1991, and 91, 92, and I was, you know, I ran into Kane on, I think it was Broadway or 7th Avenue. I think it was Broadway.
Right.
And so Kane was like, yo, what's up? What's going on? I was like, I'm chilling. And so he already had an interest in Jay, because he was like, first he asked me like, what you doing? You coming out with more records? I was like, I don't know, man. I don't really care about this shit.
Oh, so you was on that retiree shit early too?
Yeah.
That's where Jay got it from?
I don't know where he got it from. That's his own mind.
Right,
like,
right.
He made a decision, you know, because some of it is marketing and some of it is like, I'm tired of this shit.
Yeah.
The business, you know, it's not the business, but the people in business. And when you really look at the definition of business, it has nothing to do with ethics, like, you know, social ethics, like things that are right and upstanding. You know, business is like
cutthroat, do whatever you gotta do to get to the top.
That's right. That's what business is. So
they say Jay is kind of like the master of that.
Hey man, look.
I'm just saying, like, you know, we speaking on it. It is what it is. I'm not bashing the guy.
No, I ain't
but
saying
it's a fact.
you are.
It's a fact though. Like, I ain't gonna. I've been around for a while. Like I was telling you yesterday. Like he had his album was the #1 selling album in Beat Street Records. Me and my artist had the #1 selling single in Beat Street Records. So I was around. I was doing shows at Tramps. I was around the city, moving around like how I move around now. I was doing that many years ago. And I would bump into these guys in places and hear the stories of people that worked in these offices and saying things that was happening, what was going on. So I was privy to a lot of the shit in the industry that was going on, that what you're talking about. But I wasn't in the industry because I was always independent.
Right.
But I still knew the stories.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, my shit personally was more personal,
right?
Because of the fact that I was the one with the deal at that time,
right?
And so to continue on with my dialogue with Kane, like Kane was like, yeah, so what's up with your man? And I was like, what's up? And he was like, yo, you manage him? I was like, nah, that's my man. You know what I'm saying? And that's
not too many people would do that.
Nah, hardly nobody would do that. That's why I am who I am. I'm, you know, and it wouldn't have made it wouldn't have been a bad thing for me to do that, to be like, yo, but when I put him on, like he was the first dude, he was the first person that when I heard him rhyme, I was like, he's the closest to me, you know.
Of course he is. You birthed his style.
Nah, but before we even started writing together and all that shit, he was the first person that I ever heard besides
that sounded like you.
That not necessarily sounded
I
like.
Brought your first album, Jazz.
But we have similar cadence. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yeah, this
style. I pick up the mic. That we heard that from you first, bro.
No. I mean, that's a fact. But what I'm saying is, I knew he was unique, and a lot of the stuff that he was doing, a display of raw talent,
Right.
and it was somebody that, and my agenda wasn't to, or intentions wasn't like to take him under my wing. You know, we engaged as, you know, partners in rap. You know what I'm saying? Like he would come to my crib because, you know, I had the drum machine and the keyboard, so, you know, I would make beats and we rhyme on the beats.
Right.
I would go to his crib, you know, we go get the Fruit Loops, Apple Jacks, Haagen-Dazs, ice cream. We'd be high on sugar, beating on the table.
Right.
He beat on the table while I rhymed, then you know,
Vice
pass
versa.
it. Yep, that's what we was doing.
That's
And
dope.
so long story short, you know, Kane was like, "Yo, can I get his number?" I was like, "Y'all, let me talk to him first, because you know that's the
Right.
street anyway. I don't
just
do
giving
that.
niggas
Just hand
numbers.
niggas numbers out."
Nah, you right. You
But,
was right for that.
So I asked Jay, and what happened was, Jay actually called him while we were in the crib. We were at his crib.
Right.
So him and Jay was talking, and then Kane wanted me to get on the phone. So I got on the phone, and Kane was asking me some questions like, why, you know, because he was talking about like, you know, because he knew I was going in the direction of, you know, spirituality.
Right.
You know, he was like, why are you doing that? What are you standing on by doing that? I was like, I'm doing it because it's in my spirit to do
Right.
it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not, and I couldn't. He didn't understand. I couldn't explain to him like, yo, spirituality and religion is not the same thing.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So, you know, we left it at that, and you know, so I guess his agenda was to, you know, to put Jay under his wing, and that's why, like some interviews, you heard Kane saying that, you know, he gave Jay his big start, which, you know, that shit was bullshit. He knew it was bullshit.
Right,
But
right.
he did bring Jay out, you know, when he went on tour and stuff. He did bring Jay out on the road, and that was good. You know what I'm saying?
But you know, every time something happens and you meet somebody, a relationship comes out of something, and then another door opens up. So it's so on and so forth. But you are the person that birthed it, and that's just a fact. Cause I know I was around back then. I bought the album. I remember seeing him first in your videos and coming up with you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I remember that.
no, it's a fact. We
You know what I'm saying?
we
I was
covered
there.
that. We covered
You know what I'm
that.
saying?
That's a fact.
So how y'all relationship now?
Now we cool.
Okay.
We cool.
Because I know it was a little time where you said something because you felt a little way about the situation, and y'all wasn't really like tight at the one point. And then
Nah,
I heard that
I didn't say anything. I heard something on BET, and not to get deep into it,
right.
but sometimes I'm gonna explain it to you like this. During that time, I guess between like 94 and 98, you know what I'm saying? It was a whole bunch of people who wanted to be around.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they saw me and Jay's relationship as sort of a hindrance to them, you know, like, you know, basically these niggas, some of these niggas, a lot of the niggas that was around us was just straight groupies.
Right.
That's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? You know, they act like they was team players, but it's like, what's your contribution? Like you don't know how to do shit.
Right.
Dealing with, you know, music, marketing, you don't know any of this shit.
Correct.
You just around. You ain't super big. You don't know. You're
not a security guard.
Right. You ain't got shit. You ain't got shit to offer. You know what I'm saying? But long story short, I just, you know, I kind of drifted off because there was some cats, you know, a couple of cats actually, who, you know, they would fill my ear with stuff and be like, yo, you know what they did and what he did and this other person did.
Always a bunch of he say, she say shit.
Exactly, and that's where all of the shit started.
So there never was really no discrepancies with you and Jay. It was just a bunch of people around probably trying to get closer to him, knowing that y'all was tight, so they wanted to throw monkey wrenches in the shit. And it'd be like that.
And he didn't know, like, you know, he didn't know what was going on. And in fairness to him, all he saw was me not being around anymore. But he didn't know why I wasn't around no more.
Right.
And the reason why I wasn't around anymore, because I didn't want to fuck nobody up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then I'm the bad guy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I put my foot in somebody's neck, and then I'm the bad guy.
Right.
So instead of doing that, I'm like, yo, let me all this, you know, these, you know, even the shit like with. And before I say this, you know, I gotta say, like, I don't have an issue with, you know, niggas from uptown or anything like that.
Right.
And the reason why I'm saying that is because, you know, like Dane, he had his crew, and you know, we was rolling with Jay, like some niggas from Marcy and from a couple of other places, and it just, to me, it just didn't mesh.
Right.
And my whole thing was like, nah, every time we somewhere and we together, like it always ends up some type of beef.
Right.
So I'm like, yo, I don't want to be around that, because I don't handle beef the way y'all handle beef.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I handle beef like final, because I don't want to be looking over my shoulder when I
Exactly.
come out the crib.
And that's a fact.
So basically, I'm like, and then, you know, I love peace. So I don't really care about all of that, and I don't have an ego. Like, if a nigga want to talk, you talk. You just talking. You ain't doing nothing.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? So
I wish a lot of the kids nowadays would think like that, like, because with all of this being on your live and smoking a nigga in the pack and all this and that, if dudes would just look at that shit as just words, then we wouldn't have as much black on black crime as we got.
But it's hard because it's a program, man. It's a program. It's put in the music. It's put in the
media,
the media,
even the stuff that they feeding is doing something to you.
And then,
Either hypersexuality or something to stop your libido, give you more estrogen for the men with the testosterone. It's just a lot of shit that's going on.
And then what else they do? Take the father out of the equation. Yep.
And yo, I ain't gonna front. It's very, very serious and important to have men in the lives of the kids. And I don't know why women feel like that they so pressed to be single moms. Because every woman that's pressed to be a single mom, soon as that kid become a teenager and go through puberty, you can't control them no more.
Yeah.
It's uncontrollable. When we 13, 14, 15, we're uncontrollable to you moms. Y'all can nurture us when we little, but when we become men and we go through puberty and we start smelling ourselves, y'all not in control no more. We ain't listening to you. Your little beatings don't hurt no more.
My mother went through that. I'm gonna keep it a buck.
She did too. I only know my moms. I don't know my pops.
Crazy. My mom went through that with me. Like, she, you know, like, shit, I turned 13.
That's it.
Yeah, I was trying to stay out all night, start smoking weed.
Everything.
I was like,
all of that. Oh, I'm staying in the house. I'm about to go to work. As soon as you leave out that door, I'm out the door. Beat me later. I'll take the beating. You know what I mean? I'm on that shit. So if it happened to you, it happened to me. That means it's happening to every young man when they reach that puberty age. So all of these mothers thinking, oh, I can raise him by myself. No, you can't.
No, you can't.
And that's why when the kid become a teenager, now she want to try to push the kid on the father. But yet by that time, that kid already has a disconnect with that guy.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And it ain't even like a father-son thing no more. It's like beef.
Yep.
Because of the way it's a program. All of this stuff, like what you were just mentioning, like between the food, you know, where it raises the estrogen levels in everybody, male, so-called male and so-called female. I really say for understanding, like I say man and woman, because male and female could be a dog or a cow, you know what I'm saying? But you know, when it's definite when it's a man or a woman, so you know, the stuff in the foods, everything, the heavy metals, and then proper nutrition is not you know, that I'm big on that, like the proper nutrition, like every stuff, like all of the stuff that we take for granted, and I say we, like, you know, in general, you know, we eat and we think, okay, it came out of this restaurant, it's okay, it's not gonna kill me.
Nope.
It's not gonna kill you instantly, maybe, but it's slowly killing your ass.
Because you don't even know. People think that they'll go to a restaurant where it's like home cooked type shit. But with them pigs and cows or whatever you ate, that's what you eating too. So if they putting poisonous stuff in the grass and that cow is feeding on that grass, then you eating that poisonous grass that's in that cow.
Let me tell you something. You be lucky if you get some grass-fed whatever. Because now what they do, they feed them grains, and they mix other stuff within the grain, so you don't know what you eating. On top of the fact that the livestock is raised in toxic environments, and then let's not even go into a few years ago. I think California is the first state that they actually allow cloned chicken.
They got it's okay now. The FDA approved it. So now in the stores there's going to be chicken that's not even a chicken. They cloned it and they made it in a laboratory and they selling it now. So I'm not surprised that shit ain't already in all of the fast food restaurants, because that's why people are so obese now.
Yeah,
because I remember back in the 70s, everybody was slim. If it was a fat person on the block, everybody knew who the fat dude was, because everybody was skinny. The bell-bottom pants, the butterfly collar shirts, and it wasn't too many fat people walking around. But as soon as the 80s kicked in and then the fast food restaurants started getting crazy, everybody started being obese, mainly black people.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Because that's where the neighborhoods is where they put all of the Chinese restaurants, the fast food restaurants, and then even if you're cooking at home, like people are not, they're not educated. I don't like to use the word educated either, but they're not enlightened as far as like the proper oils if you're gonna cook your food.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like they got people okay because of the price. You know, to use seed oils and to use like vegetable oil is like 80% soybean oil.
Right.
And that shit is mad toxic.
Yep.
It's hell to your gut. And what else? You know, the
everything from sunflower, vegetable, all that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't even see how olive oil is that good for you, unless it's really coming from olives.
Yeah, olive oil.
But just because they say olive oil, that don't mean that they really making it with olive oil. They gonna mask everything.
That's
you know
true.
What I'm saying? They be lying to us about everything, bro.
That's true.
Just like the company that makes the weed killer, that's the same company that makes the heart medication. So because you know dandelions that are weeds, if you boil dandelion root, that shit cures the heart fucking problems. And yet the people that make the heart medication make the same poisonous weed stuff to kill the dandelion.
Because the classification is a weed.
Exactly. So that will tell you it's always some underlying sneaky thing behind the whole existence to keep us down.
That's why it's important to enlighten yourself, because one thing that cannot be stopped is information.
Right.
And information, once you verify it in certain ways, like, okay, so for instance, if I you know, I'm making an announcement like after about 3.5 years, I'm gonna start eating fish again. But it's gonna be how I eat fish. But the thing is, the reason why I'm using that as an example, so if you have like a fish fillet or fish sticks or some shit like that, as you know, I wouldn't eat that because I don't even know if that's fish.
Right.
But you know how I know it's fish? When I see the fish, and that's how you eat.
That's some Caribbean shit though. Like they eat the whole fishes and suck the eyeballs out and all that shit.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I tried it. It's not for me.
Right.
But what I will do is if I go to a fish market, you know, it's good to go to a fish market where they have the whole fish.
Right.
And then you tell them how you want it cut. You tell them you want to scale, and so on and so forth. That way you know you have a fish. And then the distinction between, you know, it's less expensive to buy farm-raised fish as opposed to like
wild.
Right, wild caught.
Wild fish is the healthy fish, not the farm-raised.
Right, wild caught. And so this is the lack of knowledge of how to eat, and it's based on the amount of money you spend. You spend all that money on that, and like, yo, this is your gut.
Exactly.
This is your vehicle. This is how you. I don't use the word vehicle, but this is your mode of transportation in this paradigm. This is how you move around. This is responsible for a lot of your feelings, and you feel like it's okay to eat a cheeseburger as opposed to eating some fruit.
Right.
You know.
Now I'm guilty of it too because I be eating a lot of junk food, but I also take all of the things that's needed because again, like I go to the doctor a lot, and my doctors be telling me like, yo, your blood pressure's a little high, and they've been forcing this blood pressure medication on me, and I know I don't want to take that shit. So what I do is I look up what is good for high blood pressure, hypertension, all of that different shit. So they talking about garlic, eating garlic, ginger, cinnamon, all
What
of
you
this.
got right there, the beetroot.
Exactly, beetroot, like all of that stuff. I take all that shit because if I'm gonna be out here doing stuff, and I know when you in this music industry and you going to different cities and you out all night, you ain't always gonna eat healthy, but you at least gotta eat the stuff that's gonna counteract what those unhealthy things is gonna do to your body.
Yeah.
Because if you eat enough of garlic or ginger and beetroot and all of that stuff, that alleviates you having to take that medication.
Yeah.
It's fighting off. It's clearing up your organs. It's fucking clearing up your arteries, and you constantly ODing on that. That's what you need to OD on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not eating just all of the fast food.
You can OD on that stuff
Right.
too.
You can.
But
Too much of anything is not good for you.
yeah, I found that out because I was doing like in the mornings or the early day.
Mhm.
I don't want to say morning.
Right.
I would use cayenne pepper in some warm water
Yeah,
and
that cayenne
squeeze
peppers.
some lemon in it.
Yep.
Yeah. So I would do that, and then one day I was getting ready to do it again. This was after about 6 or 7 days.
Mhm.
I was getting ready to do it again, and it was like I had already done it,
Right.
and it was just like, I don't want to gross nobody out, but it's just like mucus kept coming up. But I didn't have like a cold.
Right.
I didn't feel down. I wasn't sick. I wasn't doing it to like, to counteract anything that I was feeling. And I was like, where is this shit coming from?
It was detoxing your body.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
So it's a limit to like sometimes what you should do, but you got to be the director, and then also it's good to definitely research and find other insightful people who can tell you certain things, and then the results of different things. Like I've gotten into like herbs recently, for like different detox teas and stuff like that. So I do that, and it kind of worked too well because like my body fat is like zero.
Yeah, you slim, bro. You definitely in physical fitness.
Yeah.
Your physical fitness is fit.
But yeah, thank you. But now I'm like, yo, I need to put on some muscle mass. Yeah, but I don't want to put on no fat. I want to put on muscle mass. So
all you gotta do is just start lifting weights a little bit, like dumbbells, 20s.
Yo, I do push-ups.
Oh, you like
I do
calisthenics?
Yeah, but
calisthenics.
It'll give you definition,
right?
But
It's not gonna get you brolic.
Yeah,
it's the weights that's gonna do it.
Yeah, that I think what my boy was telling me is creatine and a couple other things.
Oh, see that's another thing that I'm real weirded out about, because a lot of people that I know that go to the gym and they take all of this protein and creatine and all that, and then I look that shit up, and a lot of that stuff is just ground up bugs that they're using for protein and all that other shit, man. Like,
well, I mean, see, yeah, we could go into that, but the truth of the matter is, everything is tainted. Yeah. So it boils down to like, and I know this sounds crazy, but like, if them crushed up bugs, if that shit gives results,
right? Because it's protein, and
Yeah. And I'm not saying I'm an advocate of like eating some bugs and shit like that, but I'm just saying that we don't know like 80%. That's why I'm into like eating whole foods, because if I got an apple, you can't tell me this shit ain't an apple, because it's an apple. It fits the description of an apple. When I clean it and I bite it, it's an apple. Just like I was talking about, like with the fish, you see it sourced from the beginning, and whatever is done to it is done to it, and how you get it cut up and everything.
But you know what, JazO? I'm gonna tell you something about that. Like, like you said, it's an apple and it look like an apple, but a lot of these fruits are molecularly structured to look like an apple and taste like an apple and peel like an apple, but what's in it is not an apple. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
if you getting fruit that ain't got no seeds in it, then those ain't real fruit.
Oh no, we not. No, yeah. Let me explain
All right,
myself.
cool.
When I talk about fruit,
You mean
and
real
I'm
shit.
talking about I'm talking about not necessarily certified organic, but organic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What you talking about is genetically modified.
Right, correct. But a lot of
fruits.
that's being passed off to us as like it's official and it's good. And some people
Can't
like
pass
fruit
it.
now.
They can't pass it if you don't take it.
Right.
And that's the issue.
No, you're right. A lot of people now like fruits with no seeds in it, thinking that that's better. I ain't got to
It's
spit out
better.
the
I ain't gotta
seeds,
spit it out.
but that's
Yep.
not real fruit.
That's how I know. That's
And
how the
tilapia
watermelon.
fish is not even real fish.
Yeah, I ain't even going into that.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
The watermelon, like that's why the seedless watermelon has become so popular because somebody could just bite into it and then just eat it.
Right.
Might as well say drink it because it's so hydrated.
Yes.
But it's not the same. But
But you know what? I'm glad that we spoke about this because us being eldest men in the game and getting older, because hip hop turned 50, you know what I'm saying, a few years back, and we still here contributing to the culture. So we have to, that's one of the things we need to be talking about in interviews and on songs about people's health and blood pressure, because heart disease is the silent killer and it's killing a lot of us. So I'm glad that we spoke upon this and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
And we killing ourselves because many of us are not built to make the decision between. And I mean, I got family members in like it's crazy how the first thing they talk about with food is I don't like how it tastes. And that's a big thing with not just our community but humans in general. It's like you so concerned about how it tastes, but you're not thinking about the nutritional benefits
Right.
and what it's gonna help your body do. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the issues that need to be dealt with. And it's sad that a lot of times we have to end up in a hospital bed before we even start thinking about changing our food plan.
Yep.
So, that's one of the things that I plan on doing as well. Like I'm having to sit down with my business manager, Angela Thompson. I don't know why I said Angela, but and we have what's called Kings County Health Initiative.
Okay.
Yeah. So we, it's just gonna be like a beacon for people who actually want to make a choice of changing their food plan, changing, gaining accessibility to different lifestyle changes.
Right.
So we'll go into that later, but there's, we in the baby stages of that.
Right.
But that's something that I feel is important. Like,
That's stuff that we need to talk about to our peoples, man. Like us having platforms and us having the influence, we gotta also like speak on healthy stuff and being healthy and knowing that if you don't be healthy, you will die early. And they saying that black men, we don't live too long. You feel me? So the fact that I made it to this age in my 50s, like I'm excited and happy to be getting older because coming from the era that we came from, a lot of dudes didn't make it.
That's
they
right.
didn't make it to their 20s. So, and me being one of them, because when I was 19, I was a little wild boy in the street and I got stabbed 20 times. Like niggas jumped me and stabbed me up. It was like, we got to get him. He got to go.
Right.
And I lived. You feel me? So to me still be here now, all these decades later, and contribute to the culture and sitting here with you, it means a lot to me. Because if I didn't make it, I wouldn't have this business. I wouldn't have my children. I wouldn't have this life that I'm living right now. So we got to always speak of the positive stuff and encourage people, because there's a lot of people out there listening to us and they seeing what we're doing and what we're talking about, and we can always inspire motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So,
yeah, I was gonna say at the end of the day, it's for here, and my only issue with people transitioning is I feel for the suffering that they undergo, in that transition. But it's other shit going on. Like none of this shit, all of this shit serves a purpose, but it doesn't mean that it's reality.
Right.
And reality to what we know in this paradigm can be bent, shaped, all of this other type of shit. This only has importance because it's important to whatever goal that we have. Outside of that, like you got some people, like we're in a psychological or mentality group where family is important. But what about the but what about the people who don't think family is important? Are they wrong? You know what I'm saying? They're not wrong. It's just that's their reality. So we all live in our own separate realities, and some of our realities are so congruent. You know what I'm saying? Or so similar that we say it's the same. Like yours and mine say it's the same, but it's not exactly the same because
Every
we don't
face
have
has
the
a
same
story.
computer.
That's a fact. Every person, every individual is his own person, and every face has a story. You know what I'm saying? And even though our stories can be similar, and you can relate to what I've been through, you know what I mean, as of us, like some of us not knowing our popses and growing up, how we grew up in the ghetto and shit like that, but every individual story is its own. We all have our own matrix. We all sitting on that table with the shits connected to us in our own little matrix, in our own little way.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? For lack of saying.
Yeah, no, that's facts. They did a study with vision, and what they did was they projected from one individual's eye, right?
Right.
So they had the color red, and they photographed it, and then they took another individual's eye and did the same thing, and it was not the same shade of red, but it was the same hue, it was the same sample. Right. So that is sort of like a macro cosmic way of saying that we all live in our own universes. Our shit is very, very similar, but it's not exactly the same. And, yeah.
You're absolutely right, because like I just seen this study, they were saying like when women have like multiple sex partners, there's a piece of that man in them forever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So women think that they out here catching bodies and that they cleansing themselves. Because you know a lot of times women will go through their little whole phase and they'll rock with mad dudes, and when they're ready to settle down, they want to try to forget their past.
Right.
But you still got too many people's DNAs in you, mama.
But
you know what I'm saying?
But even more so on the spiritual level, the same thing applies to men.
Of course, when we nut and shit, we giving our energy away. That life juice that we have, that's energy. That's energy that we giving away, and we give it away too fast.
But what I'm saying is that it's not just the what we call material. It's the like sex or intercourse is a spiritual experience.
Right.
And the all of the material stuff that goes on, sweat and semen and
everything,
all of that stuff is really just a sidebar to what's really going on. Is two spirits that are melding together. And that's what stays with people.
All right, so we were sitting here talking about everything healthy wise, you know what I'm saying? So what I wanted to ask you next was, I know you was cool with Clark Kent as well, because he died from, you know what I'm saying, a health issue and things like that. So how was his your relationship with him? R.I.P. Clark Kent, by the way.
Yeah, I would say Ashe, which is another word for power.
Right.
Yeah, like Clark and I, like all of us, were tight. We weren't at each other like day to day type of thing, but we got so much history. We were. Oh yeah, we was tight. We was like brothers, and when around the time that he started having issues, and it was over like several years. And at one time he didn't talk about it, but somehow, it came out when he had like an episode where he had to go into the hospital.
Right.
To be as general as possible, you know, I was constantly reaching out, you know. He had a couple of phones, but he had one number that he kept for like decades. And I would call that number, and then eventually I got to him, and he was telling me basically what was going on with him, and that he said, you know, he's on the mend, like he's recovering. And so I was like, yeah, good. And
because Clark was a strong dude, like, you know what I'm saying?
And I wanted,
a soldier.
Yeah, and I wanted to tell him some things that I had learned that, you know, maybe you could implement these things that could enhance your recovery. But
by that time, when it was too late?
Nah, it's never too late. But the issue is, like I said, people have more faith in, like, when you hurting and your body is doing shit that it doesn't do on a normal basis, you know, we go into panic. So if you don't have this knowledge, and then somebody who doesn't have a degree or anything like that, and I'm not saying that he didn't respect, you know, what I know,
right?
But it's just that I never really got it out. By the time I had like answers for him, you know, I couldn't get him on the phone. And I will say, like, I saw him, my man DJ Watkins, I don't want to call him a DJ like that, that's his name, but Keith Watkins,
right?
One of my bros. Shout out to Keith Watkins.
Word.
So every year out there in the East, you know, he would throw like a big park, whatever you call it, park jam, yeah. So one year, you know, he had a few people out. You know, people just came out on the regular, you know, people with names, and, you know, he had Ralph McDaniels up there. And
right.
Then I saw in the crowd, well, kind of offish from the crowd, Clark was there. And that's the last time I saw him. And what, you know, we were talking and, you know, joking around a little bit, but he was like, yo, man, I'm glad you here.
That's what's up.
And it was almost like, damn, like hindsight, you like,
right.
Damn, like, you know something that you ain't telling me.
Right.
It was like, I'm glad you here.
He was able to see you and spend time with you, because he evidently knew what was, you know what I'm saying, what was, you know what I mean, evidently about to happen.
Yeah, and he did talk to me and explain to me what was going on with him before that, you know.
But only he knew the severity of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I get that though. Some of that, we do that out of ego. Some of it we do it out of compassion for our loved ones.
Right.
You know, we don't want to put the burden of, you know, because, you know, people know, you know who really loves you. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that burden of hurt, it's like, yo, you know, just to know that somebody you love is suffering is a thing. I know it is for me. Like, that's my only issue. Like, I don't have an issue with death.
Right.
I don't have an issue with what people think death is. I don't have an issue with that. My only issue is the trials of physical and mental suffering. But sometimes it's a necessary transition, sometimes it's not. But that's one of the things you deal with. That's why you live life. You know, this thing we call life, you take these experiences and you go in a direction that exemplifies you, because you is your destination. To become more and more of yourself is the destination. You know, we spend half of our lives trying to be somebody or something that we're not really familiar with.
Yep.
You know.
And we only get one try at this life shit.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I don't believe that, but
well, I mean, in this matrix realm, because once we leave this essence of our body, whatever comes next, we don't remember. that what we did in that life.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
there's a reason why you don't remember. There's scientific stuff. I don't want to get into that on your shit.
Yeah, well, that's a whole nother 2 hours we can sit down and talk about. You know what I mean? But listen, so what's going on with you now? Like, let everybody know what they could expect from you, JazO, right now.
Well, I'm back in the studio, but I have to admit that's not like a full-time thing because, you know, to speak in the second person, like JazO has more going on than music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I am working on music, and I have plans to put out, you know, music that was recorded and never officially released.
Right, like a lost tapes kind of thing.
Yeah. You know, a few of them, because I got a whole lot of stuff.
I'm sure you do.
And then, you know, there's the book, you know, creative writing book, the title. I have a title, but I don't want to tell it because it's still to be determined.
Right.
And it's going to be, I was toggling between 6 and 7 volumes of this topic, you know, and because it's a lot to cover because of the fact that creative writing, all writing is creative writing, even a business plan, because you technically have to have a flair to attract the reader or the listener. So that entails creativity. So
that's
basically it's creative.
Because somebody can listen to your song for the first 4 seconds and not like it. Or they can start reading your book for the first paragraph and be like, oh, what is this guy talking about? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I think you got more of a fan base that's going to read it just because it's you that did it. You know what I'm saying? Right. But go ahead, finish talking about your book. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, basically, it's based, and the key to it, that the books or the volumes are going to be based on particular creative work. Like the first one is going to be based on my verse in Nigga What, Nigga Who. So contained in it, not only do I give like a synopsis on different aspects of creative writing, but also I list what do you call poetic creative devices, you know, which, you know, they, you know, many call poetic license, like, but it's really technically not poetic license, it's devices, and, you know, like automatopoeias, simile, metaphors.
You writing like that? Like you writing in a book? Because, you know, usually we write and we have metaphors and similes and all that in rhymes.
Yeah.
So, like, you writing that in a book? Like,
I'm explaining, I put like about 20, I think it's like 27, and I give the definitions, and then on the actual, then I have the verse that I did on Nigga What, and
nigga, what? You think you can fuck with me?
I'm toggling between color coding it or just doing a different type of code, because I'm going to attach the poetic devices that are involved in each line. And then explain it so people understand, because a lot of times, you know, people hear the rhymes, they hear the what we call the understanding. Right. They don't get the overstanding, which is like the in the case of like a double entendre or triple entendre. You know, so
you know, I was going to do a segment on my show about that, and what I was going to call it was bar exam.
That's catchy.
You know what I'm saying? And you examine these bars, because I ain't gonna front. I think sometimes in my rhymes, I think a lot of people don't be understanding what I be saying. They be going over their heads. So I really feel like if I do bar exam, I'm examining my bars, and then I'll examine other people's bars, because I understand what motherfuckers say, because I'm a lyricist. So I know when a person says something and it's a double entendre and all of that, and how it led up into this, and I can explain that to people that won't understand it. Because if you're not a lyricist, you ain't gonna really understand everything a motherfucker say.
But that's if it's good. Because sometimes people have the intention, like the writer have the intention of you getting both like, because double is two, and entendre is a word that, you know, in English we say intention.
Right.
You know, so it's one line or one phrase with two intentions. Right. As far as meaning. So basically.
Y'all hear that? You hear how he breaking that down? Y'all, if y'all ain't know, you know now what it is.
Right. So basically, if the writer is not really good, then you're not gonna get it because they didn't lay it out properly.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So
they didn't use those words properly to explain what they was trying to do.
Right.
You know
so it's kind of like what I'm doing, but mine I can say has been proven to be legitimate, and it's for the people who don't really understand creative writing to a certain level that I'm explaining through these different poetic devices. So
when is this book coming out?
To be determined.
Okay.
To be determined, but it is definitely soon. It's soon.
And the music?
Soon.
Y'all know, y'all heard it, soon. Coming soon.
Soon.
So I got this last question for you. You've been in the game for like a long time, right? I thought I've been in the game for a long time. You've been in the game longer than me. So how are you still being able to eat off the game? Like, were you able to solidify, you know what I'm saying, all your royalties and everything, and you're publishing from the beginning to still eat off those songs, or you licensing music now? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's your way of eating off it, not to be in your personal business? You know what I mean?
It's an ongoing scenario. Like, you know, you getting what you get. You know, I got a nice amount of songs in my catalog, so I do all right. But there's so many things that are missing, and you know, I've hired agencies to go and seek out and get those monies.
I'm sure you got a lot of royalty checks and royalty money in escrow somewhere that you ain't collect, that's out there waiting for you.
I think every artist, major and minor, does.
Yep.
And that's why it's an ongoing scenario.
Yep.
So, yeah. But besides that, like, you know, I'm hustle man. I don't really explain all my hustles.
Right.
But it's all legitimate. It's all legal. I ain't breaking no laws, and I ain't hurting nobody, and I ain't you know, I ain't putting nobody in precarious predicaments.
Right.
So, yeah. So I mean, that's it. You know, I keep myself clean. You know, I mind and body, and just work. But I work to where I enjoy it. I'm not toiling. I'm not here to suffer.
Right.
You know, I don't. Yo, it's the originator JazO. And you watching Grindhard TV.
Serious business, you stupid motherfucker.
That's not a street that you can walk.
Hell no.
You got to watch who you're talking
I remember when me and my kin from meager ends branched out with some leafy stems, chicken and brocks, and stomped them style blocks with them squeaky Timbs. They grinded the concrete till we leaned in them. We had to freeze if you breeze, and the caps for the fiends in them. T36 in the meat.